Man, I'm not gonna lie. I genuinely love this setup. I love the way the camera is now sitting on one of these two. The mic, I don't have to hold this stuff. So I'm gonna have to work on this. This is all trial and error. I'm just trying it out. The light, like the shadow on this side, and I've only got like this light here. This one's shining over on the back side. The backlights, the can. I mean, I I'm gonna brag. I'm gonna brag a little bit about the setup. It's nice. It's crisp. But let's get to the bread and butter of it all. So I have had this recent just like momentum of just up, trending upward in business, and then obviously in business follows, financially. I've been sticking to the gym, very, 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 very good. I go to the gym 5 days, 6 days a week. There are aspects of my life I need to clean up, and so like finances. I sometimes play around a little too much. May spend a little bit too much, right? So definitely something I need to fine tune. My diet. I need to fine tune my diet. And so, kind of what I'm getting at is there's this little series I wanted to put together. And so, this is what I'm working on this week. And these are the things that I'm trying to fine tune in my life. Because there's a lot of factors that are going good, but I feel like there's still room for improvement. And so, what this little series that I want to put together is, I'm calling it is your house dirty? And so, what I mean by that, I don't mean house in the physical form of like your actual house. I mean it in a sense of like my. Oh, it's always something work is going on. I mean it in a sense of like my home. And so what I mean by home, I mean here, this, my mind, my heart, my finances, my career, my daily habits, all these things. Are these individual aspects of my life dirty? And so what I quickly realized in business was the fact that there was a lot of noise outside of what ultimately I needed to be doing. There was a lot of distractions. I was giving a lot of time and energy into certain things that just didn't really produce. And so, excuse me, I hate to kind of follow the trend of kind of this whole style of video and blogging and stuff like this, right? But I can honestly tell you that once I decluttered my life and I allowed myself to just sit bored in silence, I allowed myself to really look myself in the mirror and kind of be disgusted with the way I was living. And I told myself that, man, I know for a fact these things that I'm doing don't give me anything, right? There's no benefit to what I'm doing. And I continue to do this, like, routine of like, I get in a mood, I do this, I get in a worse mood, and then I get in a shitty mood, and then I'm like calling for help, and then like having to like get out, and then I get out and I'm good, and then I go back through the same cycle. And it was just like this endless cycle of self-sabotaging and just going nowhere. And so, and even while I was in this, episode or season of my life, I was still able to surprisingly produce. Right, I was still having business growth. I was still getting leads, and so financially, like I was surviving. Right, and so I was like, okay, if I am putting in 75% effort into this, sometimes even 50% effort into this, and I'm still able to knock these things out and have this sort of like career success. Imagine if I were to fine tune the aspects of all the other aspects of my life and really apply myself to this deal here, right? And so part of, I started to tap into my savings, and I didn't like getting below a year worth of savings. And so I got really, really nervous. I got really, really like panicked, and I just sold everything. I got rid of the car. I put more money back in my pocket. More money bought me more time to continue to pursue this career that I'm doing. I got rid of the welding machine, my bandsaw. I got rid of a lot of stuff. And so, do I miss these things? Absolutely. But here's the deal: if I would have had a hiccup, because my roof's got a little leak that I ended up fixing myself. It's a patch job, but I'm okay with it because it just buys me more time. My knee, I still need to get the surgery on my knee. So there's a lot of things that are happening where I was just a few hiccups away from potentially being completely broke and having all this cool shit and not having a house. You know, if I would have ran out of money, I wouldn't have been able to pay for this house. And then I'm back to square one. And where am I going to put all my cool cars if I don't have a house? It doesn't make sense, right? And so I got rid of all that stuff. And once I allowed myself to remove, allow myself to sit and I have no hobbies, nothing else I can really do besides working out and reading. The only thing I really could do was just work, just grind it out. And so since that, and since I've removed those distractions out of my life, I've seen an upward trend in business. And so now that I've got this momentum, it's like when you start to fine tune your diet, or you save a little bit of money and you start to kind of get that momentum going where you're seeing those results physically, right? You start to look good, lean out or whatever it is, lose weight or whatever you're trying to do, or you start seeing that money in your bank account start going up and up and up, right? Or whatever analogy you want to use. I was like, okay, I've got this upward motion. I need to fine tune other parts of my life. And so ultimately what I decided to do, and this is all my personal experience, right? I decided to just put the brakes on drinking. I would have some sort of success. I would drink. I would have some sort of like depression, sadness, loneliness, and then I would drink. And so then I'm spending money, which was kind of robbing me of the reward of like saving and building my cushion back up, right? And so I was kind of just chasing my tail here. You know, I was present, and then I'd have a shit day, and then I'd get a little depressed, and then because I was depressed, I would go drink, and then because I would drink, then I'm like, dang, I'm overspending, hungover, whatever, blah, 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 and then I would get a little bit disciplined and get back into like the present moment. And well then, or I would have like some success and I would celebrate, and then I'd feel like crap and I spent money, and then I'm back into the same thing. And so I was just like, okay, dude, you cannot continue to run like this, especially with the momentum that you have in business. You have to fine tune your craft. You have to fine tune yourself and get everything in order. And so I've put the drinking. I'm not against it. I'm not gonna sit here and say you shouldn't drink because I did it. And so, will I have a drink? Maybe, I don't know. Just right now, I'm just in my growing phase. I'm in my building phase, and I don't want to derail the good momentum that I have. I'm losing weight. I'm almost getting my six pack. I feel better. A moment of clarity, a clear conscience. I'm not in the funk anymore. And so I've been able to kind of eliminate that, and it's been great. Not kind of, but I have eliminated. It's been great. It's like 2.5 months, and so that's the longest I've gone without drinking, honestly, in a long time. I think even maybe before high school. And so I don't know if I'm ever gonna pick it back up again. I feel like there's other things that I could do that make me feel a lot more. It's a lot more rewarding, and I don't have like the baggage that comes with the hangover, right? And again, this just works for me. I'm not knocking anybody for doing what they're doing. Power to you. Do what you want to do. I'm not gonna judge you. The other thing that I've done is I've actually worked. I'm gonna turn this mic down because I don't know what just happened. I've actually started to work a lot more on my spiritual journey. And so how that looks like, or what the reason behind that is man, I used to, a lot of things would happen to me, and I used to call them coincidences. And so if you're anything like me, and like a lot of people that I talk to, we were born in sort of like a religious upbringing, and it was kind of forced on us. And so I don't know if you've ever tried to force a dog in a corner, or force a dog to do something. Eventually the dog is going to snap at you or fight. Most dogs, right? Most people, you put them in a corner, you start pressuring them, they're probably going to punch you in the face, right? And so I think there's a lot of resentment for me from that perspective because of what I was raised on. I was told that this is what we were going to do. I was forced to go to church, and I was young. I didn't understand it. No one ever really took the time out of the day to understand and kind of break this stuff down. Or maybe I was just too young and they did, and I didn't realize or remember, right? And so I've had a lot of opportunities where I could say that they're coincidences because of where I'm at in my life. I don't believe in coincidences anymore. I think everything is happening for me on a spiritual level the way that it's supposed to happen, and I really truly do feel like God has been, knocking at my door. And so, looking at what I've been doing in the last 34 years by myself with the plans that I have in a human perspective, things don't ever work out the way that I wanted it to. And then again, then I end up in the same position where I'm depressed because this plan didn't work out. I went through a breakup because it wasn't what I wanted. I went through this bad habit. I had this, I had that, and then now I'm stressed out. I'm emotional. I'm depressed. I'm back to drinking, doing the same thing. And so all these little coincidental things that have been happening, and God's been knocking at my door, pretty much telling me to open the door. I was like, why is it that all these things around me are happening? Why is it that all this stuff is going on? And so what I started to do is just lean a little bit more into it. And so I don't know how far I'm going to go with this. I don't know exactly where all this is going to go, but I can say that it is it is very liberating, taking the pressure of life and everything that's going on around me. And so like from a like, oh, this didn't go my way. This didn't go the way I wanted it to. Things didn't work out the way I wanted it to. I want to go do this. Man, taking that pressure off of me and saying, I'm going to pray for this. I'm going to put this in God's hands, in the Lord's hands, and I'm going to just let be what it is. And if it works out, great. If it doesn't. Now, I will say this. Prayer without action is dead. So I show up. I still got to show up. I still got to do the work. But and I know this is what I'm telling you, these little signs, because there has been business opportunities or business situations where they crash, they don't go the way that I wanted them to, and they always end up working out in the best favor for the clients and the situation possible, right? And this has happened a lot in business, physically, spiritually, financially, and just mentally. Like, man, I don't know where this is going or what's happening exactly, but this is definitely something that I'm going to continue to pursue because I see all the benefits of what's happening in this. And the more and more I give myself and pray, and the more and more I try to live a righteous, quote unquote, righteous life, the more and more I'm at peace with what's happening, the more and more I'm free in a sense where I'm not worried about what life throws at me. I show up every day, I deal with what happens, and if I get punched in the balls, and I get up and I fight, and I just keep going every day, just keep trying to just be a better person, do right by people, and things always work out. And so that's my approach to that. And so I will say this: I'm human. There's still some stuff that I partake in, that I enjoy doing, that I struggle with, I guess, in a sense, right? I'm still human. There's still all this aspect of stuff that I'm not going to sit here and tell you that, drinking is wrong, smoking's wrong, premarital sex. I'm not. You guys can do what you want. This is what I'm doing for me because this is what's working for me, and so I'm going to continue to do this for me. And so, something else that I've been able to do, man, or something that I've done, all these things that I'm doing here, work here for me, has been reflecting in other aspects of my life. And so what I've been able to do is what's been happening and what the Lord's been blessing me and doing for me is opening other opportunities for me. Something as simple as a business deal, something as simple as a lead, something as simple as helping someone through a tough situation, something as simple as, this weekend I didn't realize how big this was going to be. I just went just for shits and giggles, right? And so I went, and I was fortunate enough because of the relationships and the stuff that I've been nourishing in the community and with the car community and some friends. I was able to jump into a vehicle with one of my friends and actually be in the trail of where they doing this show run for Red Bull. Man, that was an awesome experience. That was like a one in a lifetime experience for me. And for whatever reason, I don't know why that aligned the way that was. I don't know why that ended up why that worked out like that, but it was cool. And I'm going to take it with it. I'm going to run with it, and I'm just going to go about it. And so there's just a lot of cool stuff happening around me, and from conversations with people to business to finances and all that. And so I'm actually really truly scared to lose the momentum that I'm on. I am really 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 scared to fall back into that same routine of just a very dark and depressing, a very stagnant, a very unfulfilling life. And so because of all this amazing stuff that's happening, I'm gonna continue down this road. And so, um, I don't know where I was going with that Red Bull card thing. That's me bragging. That's me boasting about it. But it was a cool experience. And so, I have a lot of conversations with random people where I feel like God's knocking at my door. There's a lot of opportunities where like all this stuff is just happening like too good. And so, that's where I was going with it. All this inner work here, all this inner work of dealing with my own thoughts. I journal a lot, and like I journal when I'm sad. I'm journal when I'm happy. Excuse me. I'm journal when I have a little learning lesson opportunity. When I coach somebody, there's a lot of things that are happening around me where I journal all this stuff, and so all this inner work I feel has allowed me to grow again, not just in one aspect of my life, but the biggest one for me was in business. You know, going self-employed for myself. I'm on my third year now. First year full time. January would be a whole third year, a whole year of by myself. Full time, and then going into 2025, I'm actually going to be, that's my fifth year. So if I've surpassed the statistic, and I'm growing right now in a time where the market is quote unquote slow. I've got 3 deals in escrow. I've got one listing that I'm working on right now. They're taking care of some stuff on their side. And so I mean, these are blessings, man. These are blessings that are happening to me that I know that I'm scared. Not that I know, but I'm scared to veer off this track, and I'm leaning more into what I'm doing. Getting up every morning. I get up sometimes Saturdays. Mainly Monday through Friday. I get up every Monday. Not every. I would say like 99.9% of the time or 98% of the time. I get up every morning. And I go to small group, and it's not one of those small groups. I don't know what any small group really looks like, honestly. We pick up a script from the Bible app, and we kind of talk about it a little bit, but it's mainly a bunch of guys, it's like 4 of us, 3 of us, getting together, talking about what we're dealing with, our battles, like our human spiritual battles of what we're dealing with and how we're trying to continue to walk, in this godly faith path in our lives, right? And so one guy struggles with alcohol. Actually, I'm not even going to say all this stuff, man. But I will say for me, I've been able to relate with these guys because I have a struggle with alcohol that I've dealt with for quite some time, and I don't know where it stemmed from, and I don't really care where it stemmed from because I use that as an excuse because this is how we've always been. This is what we do. This is what we are, and I no longer do that. I no longer want to think like that. That is a very narrow-minded thought process that has never taken me anywhere. And so that same mentality has also been the restrictor in my business. And so now I'm very solution oriented. I don't care what the problem is. What is the solution? What are we going to do to fix it? That's in business, that's personal life, that's everything. And so there's been a lot of things that I've been fine tuning. The things I'm working on right now, again, are the finances. I need to tighten up my finances. I need to tighten up my diet. I need to fix those things, right? Tighten all that stuff up because I'm putting in the work. I'm seeing the rewards, but I'm a little loose over here on these things. And so those are the things that I need to work on so that I can learn how to handle what I have now, create the discipline to stick to these systems and these plans, right? Obviously, I'm going to pray on them and make sure that I get, pray that I get the strength and the wisdom to continue to grow and level up in what I'm doing. But I need to get a hold of these blessings that I have right now so that I can make room for new ones, because I don't think that I'm going to be able to be, rewarded or other opportunities are going to be opened up to me if I can't handle what I have right now. And so that's what I'm working on. And so all this inner work again has been so beneficial in all aspects around me. And so that's kind of where I came up with the whole thing of like, is my house dirty? And so I wasn't happy with the results that I was getting. I wasn't happy with what was with like the outcome of my life was. And so looking back at it, my house was dirty mentally, emotionally, spiritually, financially, in all aspects of my life. Things were just a mess. And so getting rid of some of that clutter and cleaning that house here, finances, whatever, getting rid of all the crap that I didn't need in my life, that has allowed me to just get this upward momentum. And so now the biggest things that I deal with is like am I doing enough? And so I think that's always something that I'm going to continue to deal with. But I've hired somebody to help me with my real estate business on the back office side of things. And so now I have a little bit more free time to work on the things that I want to enjoy, like make some of these videos, pursue not a backup, but like a piggyback system to the real estate business that I'm working on this year, going into January. I'm looking to not hire, but I don't want to create a team, but I want to bring in somebody also in on my broker, with my broker, to work next to me, hand in hand. Let me show them what I've been able to build, help me build this business, help me take on some of the growth that's happening with this business. And then the biggest thing now is put systems in place, like I'm talking about. That's ultimately what I'm getting at, is putting systems in place where I know I can't do everything at once. I'm this guy. I'm the guy that can get on camera and talk. I'm the guy that can go out there and talk to people and build relationships and be the face, be almost like the salesman kind of guy, right? That's what I'm good at. There are a million different things that I suck at that I don't need to do. Those are like the office work that I hired this person to do. They love that. They are not social people. They love being in a computer setting, like a lone setting, working behind they thrive in that. That's what they're good at. I hired her to do all that stuff for me. She works on my calendar. She works on a lot of like my emails. I mean, I can call her and she takes care of a lot of my stuff. And so it's been a little hard for me to hand that off. But that book by Dan Martell, Buy Back Your Time, has been boom, like really eye-opening. And then on top of that, there's a friend of mine that comes over quite often, and he also went to work for himself. Him and his wife are building something super awesome, and they are seeing how important it is to put systems in place to delegate and pass on certain duties to people that are better at them. And so there's something that stuck with me, and it said something along the lines of like, someone doing 80% of the work is better than, well, is it 80%? I can't remember what it was, but pretty much what it comes down to is this. It comes down to, if right now I have reached the 100% potential of what I can do right now, right? There still is another 100% potential out there, to grow, right? And so because I am trying to do everything and I'm trying to be and wear all hats, I don't want nobody to, this is my business, don't touch it, I work so hard for this. I don't care about that. If someone can come in and help me and I can pay them, my time is more valuable. I now measure success on a time scale. I get to get up in the morning and do what I want. I can sleep in, I can go to the gym, I can go do anything. Granted, I have to keep this business maintenance and going. So this is what I'm learning to do now, is put people in place that allow me to continue to go out and build these relationships, get into new hobbies, get into new things, and grow a organic relationship with people. And then I just so happen to be a real estate agent. And so these are the things that I'm now learning to do and struggling to put in place. And I love this because this is growth. And so I know people that are running companies that have been running companies that are at a greater level, have been running them for a long time, and they're struggling with letting go. They have all the workload, and it is hard. hiring people and coaching people and developing people is hard. But you know what's also hard is not being able to spend time with your family, not having the freedom to move and do what you want. And so what was the point of me getting in this business for freedom to move and do what I want if now I'm taking on every role of this business? It's not sustainable. Eventually, I'm going to run myself into the ground, and I'm going to lose the fire that comes with real estate. Another thing, I see agents in this industry that are constantly chasing the next deal and the next deal and the next deal. And what I hate about that is that you are now on a scarce mentality where you need to close this deal because you need money to survive. And the last thing I want to do is do business because I need the money. Then what happens is the complete focal point of helping you is no longer my concern. And now it's like, how do I get this money? Human nature, that's what happens. So what I've been able to do and why I've been able to have this level of success, and I don't care if I make $1 or, $10,000, as long as I can help you solve your problem, is because I've eliminated the cars. I've eliminated the maintenance. I've cut a lot of my subscriptions out. I don't drink anymore. I don't go out and do these things. And what that's allowed me to do is save money. And then with the money that I'm saving, I have more time, right? It's like a time over money scale where like it does this like kind of stuff, right? So if you have all the time in the world, and you have all the money in the world, you got to find that sweet spot, right? Where I needed time to continue to grow this business, right? So I was more time driven, I guess, in a sense. I needed more time. So instead of having all the money going out, I removed all these things out of my life, these distractions. My house was dirty, right? I cleaned up my house, and now I only have the bare necessities and a little bit of money to go out and play around and do whatever, just to be human and still enjoy all this, right? And so that's what I've been able to, and it's cool because none of this is scripted. This is all coming from right here, baby. And so I don't want to be one of those agents where I'm constantly having to be a shark and like just hustle, and then it takes the authenticity, the genuine genuine concern for someone's problem, and so I don't want to do that. And so that's how I've been able to do it. This is also honestly has been a slow way to build the business because I'm not a shark. But it's been the most like loyal, solid foundation because I genuinely have people that trust me and that care about me and send me leads and send me referrals and are in my corner rooting for me. I feel that love. That's another blessing. These are really good things that are happening in my life that I need to stay on track with what I'm doing so that I can continue to nourish these relationships. And so I need to be on my best behavior because I am a better asset when I'm at my best behavior. When I can serve people better when I'm at my peak. And so removing all that noise and cleaning up my house, right, has allowed me to better perform, to put these systems in place. And now I'm getting steady referrals. I don't market. Other than these videos and these things that I'm doing right here, I don't market this stuff. And so it's all referral based. And so it's a slow process, but removing all that dead weight of bills has allowed me to keep my expenses down, which in turn buys me more time to continue to do this slow growth of this solid foundation. And so that's the way that I've been able to approach this business, and that's how I'm going to continue to approach it. And so, like I said, I also see these agents that are constantly chasing these next deals, and that's not a good way to do. That's not a good way to live. I don't like that. I don't like being at the mercy of the market. I don't like being at the mercy of inventory, of what the economy is doing. I don't like that. So there is something that I am putting in place that I'm going to piggyback off real estate. And so continuing to hire people, continuing to put people in place is going to be something that I'm going to lean on very, very much. I have never been in a position to coach somebody or not in this magnitude. And so how I'm going about this is with the lenders and then title, insurance, all these people that I'm working with. When I see something that there's room for improvement, I speak on it and I bring it up in a very encouraging, very logical manner. I say, hey, I'm a very easygoing person and I'm pretty chill, almost too laid back sometimes, and I'm working on that. Excuse me. And so I usually try like the 1, 2, 3 thing where like I like sorry these damn Topo Chicos. So what I try to do is I try to do like, hey, like I bring it up once, and then if nothing gets done, then I bring it up a second time, and then usually the third one for me is just like, hey, I've brought it up the first time, I gave you grace, shit happens. I brought it up the second time, it's happened again, and so what do you suggest I do for the third time? Sorry, what do you suggest I do? That's what I get for being stupid. What do you suggest that I do for the third time? Because obviously the way I'm going about this, and I bring it up as like a warning, right? I bring it up and then I have the conversation again, and then it happens again. Okay, now at this point, what do you suggest that we do? And so the things that I'm asking for are not things that are personally in my favor. It's all to better assist the clients and the people that we're dealing with. And what sucks about this industry is that people don't want to work together. And it's almost like we're all doing our own little thing, and there's like an ego or a pride or whatever deal or whatever, right? And so what I've been doing now is actually telling people, hey, like, can we get this done? I feel like this is something that, like, are you guys doing this? Hey, we did our part. Hey, here's this. Here, it's on you now. And so systems, people are in place for a reason. Everybody's going to get paid, so people need to do their job. And sometimes people drop the ball. And so it's my job to remind them and freshen up and get answers. And so I had a conversation with I do this all the time, a lender and a sales rep recently, where I had to really, really tell them, like, hey, dude, this is a younger agent too, the sales rep. And I was like, look, man, I'm gonna be brutally honest with you, and it's a little frustrating, and I apologize if I'm coming off a little bit aggressive, but you're messing with my clients now, and you're messing with my money, my reputation, the way that I do business. You're messing with that, and so I don't like this. And this is their first time home, and you're making it a very shit experience, and it doesn't need to be, because we're all gonna get paid if we take care of them. And I'm not asking you to do anything that isn't outside of what you should already be doing. And so the situation was, we were going to close on that house today. Well, Friday, I called and I wanted to double check and say, hey, how's everything look for Monday? Is there something that we need to do on my side that needs to be taken care of so that we don't have any issues going forward? And they're like, no, everything's good. And so from the very beginning, this couple was recently married. They hadn't got the driver's license that reflected the new last name, the wife, right? And so we told the sales agent from the very beginning what this situation was. He goes, yeah, I'll let Lending know and we'll go from there. It's been almost 30 days and nothing happens. And I let Lending know that, hey, the name on this particular contract is still the old name. Can we change it so we don't have to do that later, right? We already have the marriage license. Here's everything, right? And so instantly, oh, well, how come nobody said anything? And I was like, time out. Your sales rep for your company that you lend for knew from the very beginning. And so I don't know what you guys, again, I was like, I'm going to tell you something and give me a minute to talk, because it's instant. It's like, it's the defense. I say something and they want to defend. They want to defend, right? And so I was like, give me a minute. Let me finish real quick. This is the second deal that I've worked with you guys. And this is the second time. And the first time I was like, okay, maybe it's just something's going on, new system, whatever. But I can confidently say now that you guys on this side, your communication between each other and between agents sucks. And I don't know if maybe I'm the only agent that really cares this much to get involved with these deals. But why isn't there a system, an email thread or something where we're all on the same page? Why is it that we told the sales rep from the very beginning of this name change, and now you're surprised the day before closing? And here's the frustrating thing about it. I had to get on the phone. I had to pick up the phone. I had to ask and see what was going on and see that we were ready to go for Monday. The sales rep instantly was like, man, I don't know. I told her that's her job. I was like, timeout, dude, timeout. Because if we use your mentality, it's your job to make sure all this is ready to go for closing. So then if I use your mentality, what would have happened when my clients and I got to closing on Monday and they weren't able to close? So it doesn't matter what the problem is. The problem needs to get fixed. And so I let the sales rep that he needs to take a little bit of pride in what he's doing, because he's going to get paid too. And so it's not right when we can pick up a simple phone and the hardest part of my job is picking up a phone and sending an email. There's a lot of outside pressure from this business, but the majority of it is picking up the phone, and that it's not that hard. And so I let him know, doesn't matter what it is. This is the second time that I've brought a deal with him, and it's been the same shit service. Take some pride in what you're doing. It's just another number to you, but it's their first time home, and this is something really big for them, and you're giving them a shit experience, and that is associated with me too. So do better. Do your job. Done. Man, that dude didn't have nothing to say. And I don't feel bad if you're going to get mad at me, because I'm not asking for anything unrealistic. I'm being very logical, and it's just frustrating that you can't even do the bare minimum. And so I had the same conversation with this lender. Your communication on your side of this process sucks. And so I don't know what we need to do going forward, but this problem was brought up from the very beginning. And why am I the agent that y'all don't want to communicate with, because agents suck? Why am I having to do this for y'all? Man, dude, today they are on it. And so boom, done. I'm good. I now know that if I continue to approach this way, I should be able to set the bar straight. And 1, 2, 3, what do you suggest we do now? Because the way I'm handling it obviously isn't working. What skills and resources do you need? What awareness do you not have that is causing you to repeat the same error? Because this repeated error is just slowing down the process. And so in order for us to be efficient and have success in the business that we're creating, we don't need a slow process. We need this thing to be efficient. And so we need to we're going to train you, and we're either going to coach you, and you're either going to receive this well, or you need to ask yourself, do I play the best role for this system? I don't know. 1, 2, 3. I've given you the warning, the repeat one, and now it's just like, what do you suggest we do now? Because my way of doing it isn't working. Now let's do it your way. Let's see if maybe you have a better solution. I'm all ears. I'm all ears, because I need you here, because you're a vital part of my process of this business that allows me to go do the things that I enjoy, which is building the relationships with people, networking with people, being the sales guy, doing this. That's what I enjoy. And so I don't know. That's just how I'm going to go about this business. And so that's that. I'm learning to coach. I'm learning to build these processes. And I ask for constructive criticism. So if I do something wrong, you have a chance to grill me too. So if there is room for improvement outside of some petty little, well, you need to do this, this, and that, then cool. She told me that most agents put people in a thread. And so going forward, I'm going to put everybody in a thread and make sure we're all on the same page, right? Whatever. I mean, it is what it is, right? And so left it alone. And so that's the coaching side about it, and that's what I'm working on. And so there's a few other things that I'm working on that I'm not really going to speak on right now, because I don't feel comfortable putting that out there just yet. I want to start that process and make sure that this is going to work out. I'm doing something to piggyback onto the real estate business that ensures that I'm going to be comfortable regardless of what's going on in the economy. I don't want to be dependent on chasing sales. I don't want that stress that I see a lot of agents have, where they're having to get other jobs and they're going back to the workforce because it's a lot of pressure, and they didn't plan accordingly. They're not aware. They're not fully understanding how this process works. They're maybe not saving. Maybe they can't. Maybe they have too much on their plate. And so because I'm in a position where I have no kids, it's just me, and I can do this, I'm taking full advantage of it. And so before anybody says anything, I know people with kids that are also doing this. I know people that have, a spouse, and it should be easier because you have two forms of income. And so there's advantages and disadvantages to everything, but there's also excuses at every stage of it. And so because I know I can build this system, and I've done this for 3 years, I know I can take these fundamentals and apply this same stuff to another one, right? Another system. I taught myself to weld on YouTube. Trial and error. I failed. I learned. I've accomplished. I can do that. Working out. My physical appearance appearance is the trophy for me of the work that I put in. I understand that what I eat today is gonna reflect tomorrow. I understand what the work that I do today is gonna reflect tomorrow. So I'm fully aware of what it takes and the sacrifices you have to make and the house I have to clean when it comes to my diet to allow room for me to have that growth in a physical level. So that's kind of where I'm at right now. But man, the house dirty thing. Well, I went on a rant, man. The house dirty thing has been the very, very key thing for me that has allowed all the other aspects of my life to just blossom. And so, do I feel stagnant along the way? Yes, but overall, is there little hiccups along the way? Yes, but overall, it's going here. It's like this, right? Boom, maybe come back. Boom, maybe fall all the way off. But it's been growth. You can't knock that, right? And so, again, I'm going to end this here pretty quick, but that's where I'm at. So I'm working on keeping my house clean. And what I mean by that is me, my home, as I go out into the world, my home here, my head, my heart, my spirit, all the things, my habits, my finances, my actions, make sure they're intentional with what I'm doing, keeping my house clean. And so what that looks like for you, I don't know. You got to ask yourself, what are the things you're struggling with? What are the same repeated habits that you keep having the same responses, the same outcomes, right? What things in your life do you need to clean up that you know you need to clean up? And the reason I say that is because I know the things that I needed to do that I just was not man enough, in a sense, to face that reality and look at myself in the mirror and say, you're acting like a total piece of shit. And if you ultimately want to get married and have kids, what woman is going to be like, this is the drunk mess wreck of a piece of shit guy that I want to go do? And if that's the woman that wants it may not be the best person that I want in my life, right? So I need to clean my act up first and be the example before I can coach people and tell people and help people and enlighten people and influence people. I need to clean all aspects of my life up. And so, again, I've got a good grip of it right now, but there are a lot of things that I still need to continue to work on. And this right here is helping me hold myself accountable. And so this is also helping me with vulnerability. I struggle with that still till this day. These are all things that I'm doing to put this out there, to go back and look at when I originally started this social media journey, what I've been able to build, and look back and be like, you remember when you put that video? Look where you're at now. Look at the growth. Dude, example, I had hair a couple years back. And so it's like, damn, you remember when you had hair? Like it's just funny to go back and look at that. It's funny to go watch the car journey and how everything's kind of just grown and has shifted, because now I'm chasing efficiency. My measure of success is time. And so I'm trying to create systems and structures around me where I can also bring in other people and we can collectively help grow this and give them whatever light and whatever little deal that they need. But in order for me to try to quote unquote save somebody or bring somebody up and get them here, I can't just tell them to do this, right? I have to be the proof and live by example. I quit my job. I taught myself to weld. I got the school degree to be an operator. I did that. I taught myself to snowboard. I taught myself to weld. Yeah, I said that. I've done this real estate stuff, and I'm doing this. I'm learning about podcasting. I'm learning all these things. So there's a lot of things that I know I'm capable of doing. And so because I know that I'm capable of doing these things, I have the confidence because I've allowed myself to fail. I've allowed myself to put myself out there when I had shitty clips. Go back to the beginning of my YouTube channel. My clips suck. And so I've allowed myself to fail and fail and fail. And now I have the confidence to do this now. I have the confidence to walk into a room and handle whatever problems at hand. I have the confidence to talk to people because I know of everything that I've been building in the past. And so for me, it's putting myself in these situations and failing and being okay to fail that has given me the confidence that I need to grow and to come out and to come up and fall and get up and be like, okay, get back up. Because I know I can accomplish this, just like I've accomplished the welding, this career, the operator school, this snowboarding, all the other things that I've been able to accomplish, the podcast, all those things I've been able to accomplish because I've allowed myself to try and I've taken action. So this is another form of me taking action and putting this out there so that I can continue to hold myself accountable, bring in people in this system that I'm creating that I can help empower them, but also leverage the skills and the resources that they have to help further create this system of sustainability for me, but also allow other people to come in and nourish and feed off this too. With that being said, that's it before I continue to get off track. So again, is your house dirty? Only you can answer that. I've made peace with mine. There's some laundry I gotta go clean up. Literally tonight, I gotta take care of this stuff. I should have started it earlier, but it is what it is. And so I encourage you to look at your house and all aspects of your house, here, finances, all that, whatever you want to clean up. And I encourage you to challenge yourself to clean up those aspects of your life. If you guys need something, if you guys are stuck and don't know what that looks like and or need a little bit of guidance, feel free to reach out. Again, cleaning up my house internally here has allowed my business to grow, has allowed my relationships with people to grow. I've lost some distance myself with some, and it's okay because that's going to be part of the process. You can't bring everybody with you. All you can do is walk and be an example of what it looks like to make change and own up to your stuff. Take accountability for what you're doing and be a man. Be a man about it. That's what being a man is, man. And so that's it. We're 45 minutes in. I'm going to leave it there. I'm not going to edit this. I'm just going to throw it out there, and I hope you guys can take something from this. And I may do these once a week. I may do this at the end of the week and reevaluate my weekly actions and what I've been able to do and how I've been able to fine-tune, on a weekly basis. But these are the things that I need to do in order to take myself to the next level, right? And so I don't know what I'm doing. I'm simply trying and trialing and error this stuff. And so so far I've been able to get this far. And so because, again, confidence, fundamentals, I understand the reps I got to put in. I'm open to the growth that's happening. I'm open to the things that are happening around me. I'm going to continue to keep pushing. You guys have a good night. Have a good night. Have a good night.